You're watching InDesign basic tutorials with Professor Tennant, and in this video I want to get started in how we manage to work with text for tabs and tables. And this goes for both tabs and tables if you want to set up some text for charts or graphs or information, tabular information, even things like spacing wording out for forms, and even underlines for forms. All of it starts in this basic place. So how do you space out your text for either tabs or tables? Just the basic information. And over the years I've worked with a lot of people who swear that they know how to work with Microsoft Word really, really well. And so I take their text a lot of times and I will put it in a professional page layout because they want to give me the information, so we transfer it over in a Microsoft Word document. And this is the kind of thing that I get. Now this grade scale, this is a situation where I set it up where I really don't have anything spaced out. Usually I get from people things that they've already tried to format it for me. Thank you, but no thank you, because this is exactly the situation that I get. How do you make it so you space out the different parts of it? Like, for instance, I have here, even to the point of colorizing these so you can see that for the grade, the information is going to be below it. The percent value, this is going to be this set of numbers here, and then point value is going to be this point number here, okay? So what do they usually give to me? Oh, they try to help me out. All right, so we're going to proceed to do what someone would do, like tab it over. All right, so I'm pressing the tab key for the space in between. Well, that didn't send it very far, but if I wanted to line the stuff up underneath, well then the next line here, I could just tab that over. Oh, fantastic, great, I could do that. So then what about this next one here? All right, well, I want to line that up. Go ahead and tab it. Well, maybe I need a space also. Oh, okay, fantastic. Well, wait a minute. That just doesn't exactly line up. What if I were to tab that? All right, I'm chasing it. Oh, okay, wow. Now we get to line it up. But wait a minute. There's a lot of space in here, so I better tab that also over a couple of times. All right, now we've got more even spacing, okay? So fantastic. Well, I also get another situation. So this was tab, and I also had a space. This one, I get this also often. Space, 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 space. Okay, is it lined up exactly? Okay. How about this? Space, space. Well, let's just tab it. Well, that doesn't work. Okay, there we go. Fantastic. And so on and so forth. Now, we don't see what's going on behind the scenes, but what if I were to possibly change up some things and then maybe add some more information? Let's say I have something in between here. Then I would have to re-tab all of the spaces and tabs. Yeah. So what does it look like? Now, in Microsoft Word, you also have a way of showing all hidden characters. And depending on the version of Microsoft, which drives me crazy, they put things all over the place, you can click on something, you can find this somewhere. Okay, so in essence, this looks kind of like an absolute mess, because now here in the first area I've got two tabs, and they do show these little arrows represent tabs in Microsoft Word. The second one I have a space and a tab, and then in the this next one below it, 2 tabs, and then a space and 2 tabs rather than 1 tab. And then this one I have spaces and 2 tabs. This one I have a bunch of spaces. So when I do page layout, okay, and I would copy this information, okay, and put it into a page layout, then it becomes a disaster because I would also be trying to figure out how to lay this thing out. So if I transfer it over, and let's do just that. I copied, okay, and now I'm just going to paste that little bit of information over to here. And this professional layout software, yeah, it's like all over the place, and you can see it right here. Not very pretty, and it has to be redone. So if I show my hidden characters, then I'm seeing the same tab system, a bunch of things, but they don't line up exactly. Well, that's because in Microsoft Word and also in InDesign, oops, I've got the wrong little thing here. Okay, in both of them, they have some default tabs set up, but not everything lines up. What if I have to fit this in a small space? Okay, so what I'm trying to get at is, those of you watching this video, is that from now on, you're not going to be unprofessional like this. This is not the way that you set up a system of tabular information or table information, where we've got columns, and below the columns, everything needs to line up a certain way. All right, now at first, it looks like a mess, and this looks, oh, this lines up so pretty. But when I put it in some other format, or like in InDesign, a different situation, then it just gets thrown all over the place. Okay, so why not use Microsoft Word? Ew. So anyways, no, we do not use Microsoft Word for printed materials, for commercial printing, and this is actually a better way to set your things up. So in any case, let's go back to this right here. And to set it up in Microsoft Word or in InDesign, I usually strip this information out. So I would put 1 tab, okay, in between each part, okay? And you can do tabs in Microsoft Word, so that's part of the learning also. 1 tab in between each, so that upon each tab, it's a piece of information, or in other words, a column. Okay? Now, this does not look like it lines up. However, if I were to highlight that area, and again, we're going to go over this in InDesign, but it works perfectly fine for Microsoft. It's just a little bit more painful in Microsoft, sorry. So for tab information, now up at the top, if you have your ruler showing, then tabs come into play here. You automatically have that. If you click on an area up here in this part, whatever you, in the ruler, whatever you place there, and you have selected some text, then that tab gets put onto the very next thing over from the tab. So following the tab there, okay? So now I can line those up perfectly well, and in fact I can get it a lot tighter than you might expect. Now it's kind of annoying because it does have particular measurements, whereas in InDesign it's a lot more fine-tuned actually. So then that's 1 tab, so that's the first tab belongs to this tab right here, okay? So the second tab, then how far over do I really want? I'm going to kind of eyeball it at first and place another tab in here. Come on. All right, and if I click and hold a little bit, then it comes in. Well, I want to space it out just a little bit so that I have a little bit more even spacing. So that's a lot tighter than perhaps what you're used to. What I like to do when I get something from someone who tried to help me out, help me, quote unquote, with the tabs, I usually end up stripping it out. I might select everything. I might go to the Edit drop down and go to the Find and Change. Okay, and what I'm looking for in general, and there are some characters, it's a tab, so a double tab in a row, I'm looking for those. Change it to a singular tab. All right, and then I'm going to make sure that it's on my selection. In this case, I did select something. Depends on what you're doing. Okay, so usually you want to select your text. So I'm going to actually change all, and it has replaced, and it strips out all that extra crap. Sorry, I mean stuff. Did I say that? Okay, so then what I want to do is 2 spaces. So end of paragraph, no. Basically some spaces. I'm going to have to actually press the space bar key 2 times. Okay, and you see we have actually selected something here. All right, but I want to make it 1 space bar key. Okay, so I have selected 1, whereas in the top I have 2. So even though I can't see it, when you're pressing the space bar key, it doesn't really show up in the Find Change. It doesn't look like it, but if you click and drag backwards, you will see that you have something selected, and that is a space. All right, change all. All right, so it's done 13 times, which gets rid of this nastiness here. And I basically just want to be left with 1 left. Change it again, yeah. Change it again. Sometimes I'm doing it, a few times. Okay. Well, I missed this text right in here. So, seeing as I only have a little bit left, there we go. Okay. And this one, I just need a tab. Now, I'm going to say done, and in design, this is kind of what we want. We just want 1 tab in between. That's basically how you prepare it, and also my method for stripping out the bad help from other authors as far as trying to help us with our tabs. No thank you, just 1 tab each. All right, in the next video, we're going to set up our tabs the way we want to, and how does InDesign tabs work.